The law offices of Ron Scholes presents Miller on Sports, the only sports show that keeps you glued to your seat. Everything else is just talk. Now, here's your host, Richard Miller.
Oh, it's another beautiful, wonderful day to be alive in the city of Jacksonville, Florida. Welcome on in. This is Miller on Sports right here on Talk Radio 600 WBOB. Always brought to you by the law offices of Ron Scholes, a law firm of military veterans fighting for you. Check them out at youhurtwefight.com. Our only guest for today, but a fantastic one. Award-winning equestrian sports journalist L.A. Pomeroy joins us. 30 years in the business as an equestrian journalist. L.A., I really appreciate it. Thanks so much for joining us this afternoon.
Hey, it's my pleasure. Any opportunity I get to horse around, I'm going to grab it.
There you go. Wonderful. And you've been a member of the International Alliance of Equestrian Journalists for more than 15 years. Very, very impressive. And we were talking back and forth via email the last couple weeks now. And being in Florida, I really had no idea just how good Florida was when it comes to the intercollegiate competitive regions. 2 award-winning teams. Just how good are Florida's equestrian teams?
Florida is doing great. Statistically, of course, y'all stand third in the nation for the greatest number of horses, only behind Texas and California. Florida itself is ranked in third place, and both the Florida International University there in Miami, which got off to a great start in 2010. A bunch of go-getters decided to develop a team. They've had a very strong record and winning their region through the year, as well as we've got a great team as well at Florida State at Tallahassee. And then we've got intercollegiate teams as well at Florida Atlantic and over at Florida Gulf Coast in Fort Myers. The Florida region for those intercollegiate teams is probably one of the deepest seated for talent in hunter seat discipline, any place that you could ask for it. You guys are horse country.
Well, that's very impressive, and I, for one, really didn't know that. And leading up to this interview, I tried to do as much research as possible. Honestly, L.A., I think the last time I rode a horse, I was maybe 8 years old. I'm not good at horseback. It's just I'm more of a ground person or a water person. But I'm just so fascinated by everything that goes on with this. You talk about Florida and California and even Texas. That to me almost sounds like high school, college football recruiting almost. It's kind of interesting. But I wanted to ask you, too, because we've seen so often over the last 15, 20 years that weight training and conditioning have really become a top priority in sports. Is it the same with equestrian sports?
Yes, it is. In a single word, one of the best training regimens that our equestrian riders follow, Pilates.
Really?
You know, the sort of strength training through conditioning, those great big rubber balls that you balance on, yoga, flexibility. You need it all. You're not just sitting on top of that 1,500-pound animal. You're driving it with your legs, with your back, with your seat. It's a workout. If any gal out there, or guy as well, if you want a six-pack pair of abs, all you got to do is learn how to sit your trot. And let me tell you, all that concussion from the ground through the horse's legs, you absorb that through your waistline, and you're going to give the boys on the Jersey Shore a run for their money.
There you go. Very interesting. Talking to L.A. Pomeroy, having a lot of fun. Award-winning equestrian sports journalist right here on Miller on Sports. And I also was wondering, because we see it in so many sports where you've got the superstars, and with football we've got NFL, we've got college. Is it kind of the same thing where you've got professional and college, and you've got bigger fans of each, or both very big in the equestrian sports world?
Well, what we've got are a number of different disciplines that are recognized by the FEI, the International Equestrian Federation. In fact, as we're speaking right now, there's a big championship taking place in Aachen, Germany, that our U.S. riders, Stefan Peters, in dressage, McLean Ward and Laura Kraut in show jumping, Chester Weber in four-in-hand driving, and Chester actually is a born and bred Florida native. They are dominating the competition internationally right now. And Florida and Chester actually is an 8-time four-in-hand driving world champion. He is to his sport what Michael Jordan is to basketball.
Wow. I did not know that. And also, you talk about these superstars, and I think these guys and gals are definitely athletes. But I was wondering, too, because I've watched it before on TV and the different disciplines like you were talking about, and I've been watching in amazement because there's no way I could ever do what these people do. But I was thinking, is it very similar to thoroughbred racing where the horse gets more recognition than the jockey, or is it the other way around where it's all about the rider and they can switch horses and it's not a big deal?
It's 50-50.
Okay.
As the Prince Charles has said, if you want to learn about humility, learn how to ride. The horse can make you a better rider. And consequently, if you as a rider know how to give the right cues and anticipate what a horse is going to do, you can do kind of those fine tweaks and touches. A horse is very much like a high-performance NASCAR vehicle. You get somebody who understands how to go 200 miles an hour, behind the wheel, they can feel when that wheel is going to wobble a little bit, or how they have to kind of readjust or brake coming in or out of a turn. Riding is the same way as NASCAR driving. You've got that giant engine underneath you, and you're sensitive to its every nuance to keep it going forward in the direction that you want. It's a two-man deal. You can't have a NASCAR car without a driver. You can't have a horse without a rider.
L.A. Pomeroy, award-winning equestrian sports journalist, more than 30 years in the industry, a member of the International Alliance of Equestrian Journalists for more than 15 years. She's on Facebook and Twitter, L.A. Pomeroy. Check her out. Having so much fun, really enjoying this. And I've wondered with equestrian events, too. I also watch figure skating, and judging plays a major role in this. We've talked about the different disciplines and what goes into it physically, mentally. How are these riders graded? Are the horses graded as well? Is it artistic ability? What goes into this?
Well, it depends on the discipline and the class. You can kind of divide it between performance. For instance, down in Florida, the Wellington area holds the Winter Equestrian Festival every year, and that actually is not only the country but the world's largest and longest-running equestrian competition. Over the winter, that event hosts 5,000 horses and nearly 3,000 riders from all 49 states and 30 countries. Some of their big classes are called the jumper classes, and those are probably the easiest for a non-horse person to attend and understand, because it's whoever jumps over a course of fences in the fastest time without knocking any of the rails down wins. You don't have to look pretty, you just have to be effective. Consequently, on the other side, you have your hunter riders or your equitation riders. And they're essentially asked to do the same thing, but you've got to look good while you're doing it. Your leg has to be in the proper, effective position. Your arms and hands and chin have to be up and in the right place. So if you're a hunter rider, you've got to ride and look good doing it. If you're on the jumper end, you can be a little more aggressive, a little bit faster, not so pretty, but you can still get the blue ribbon. So the horse world is wise enough to understand that every horse is an individual, every rider is an individual, and the classes are divided in a way to be able to help you get the best of your own nuanced talents.
L.A. Pomeroy, she joined us this afternoon. She's joining us as we speak, award-winning equestrian sports journalist, more than 30 years in the industry. Find her on Facebook and Twitter, L.A. Pomeroy. Really enjoyed it. LA, take care. And I know we'll be talking very soon because I think you've got me hooked on equestrian sports now.
Hey, equestrian sports is sinking better than $15 million a year into the Florida state industry. I say support it. It's a great revenue generator. It's great for tourism. It's great for Florida.
Thank you so much, LA, and we'll talk very soon.
Thanks a bunch. You have a good afternoon horsing around.
All right, there you go. Have a great one indeed. Miller on Sports, always at City Hall Pub Monday and Tuesday. I really enjoyed it. Hope you did as well. The interview, I'll make sure I post it on Facebook sometime this afternoon or later this week. Miller on Sports, we'll be back talking more sports down here at City Hall Pub. You're listening to Talk Radio 600 WBOB, Jacksonville's home for NASCAR.
Intercepted FSU. Touchdown FSU.
And Florida State football.